And here we are back with Visual Studio online sprints, and here I am with Vinicius Moura. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Cerradas. Thank you. And you? How are you?
I am doing a little bit fine. I'm
Yes.
glad you asked.
Let's go to Sprint 92.
Yes, Sprint
This
92.
sprint deliver 8 new features in total, with the emphasis on the network item and the custom item fields.
Yes, we have great news regarding these two items, so let's go see what's new with them.
Let's go.
Well, we have some great news from this sprint. And the first one I would like to talk about is the custom work item fields. Well, finally we can customize the work item template and the work item fields into Visual Studio Team services. But we have to pay attention to some things. It's not fully customizable yet. Let's see what we can do. Well, now we can add new fields, uh, datetime, string, integer, and decimal fields. So it's a limited list of types we can use here, right? We can rearrange the work item fields into the work item form. We're gonna see this. And one important thing is we can only customize inheritances uh, process templates. So we cannot customize uh, a hoot an out of the box template. What I mean, you cannot customize the templates that comes with a team, Visual Studio Team Service that are default to the service, right? And we're gonna see a little bit of the process security. Okay, so let's see the first thing. How can we add new fields? How can we customize work item fields, right? Well, once we click here on the work item, this is the new work item form. If we click here on three dots, the top right, we can now have, you will now see a new button, which is customize right here. Okay, so let's use this button. Once you click this button, it's the same as you go here on the gear on the top right. Okay, go to the collection scope and go to process. So here you can see all the available process templates for this collection, or what I mean for your Visual Studio Team services, because it's one to one Visual Studio Team service to one collection as a service, right? As you can see here, we already customized some team templates to record the Brazilian Portuguese version, right? We have three default templates: Agile, CMMI, and Scrum. Okay, so once I want to customize one of them, I need to first inheritance one of them. Okay, so imagine that I want to customize the CMMI process template. First, I need to create an inheritance process. Okay, I cannot customize. Let's see here inside. Here you can see everything you can customize for the work item temp the process template. So, but there's one little detail. You will see this lock icon besides every single item of the process template, right? So you cannot customize anything here. For you to have it enabled, you have to inheritance this process, inherit, right? So let's create it. CMMI vessel sprint and US. Customized process template to record VSO sprint in English, right? So once I create it here, I have some, I have a few steps, a few next steps right here. I can create a project with this new process template. I can change existing, this is very important. I can change existing team projects to use this new template. So I can now convert existing team projects to use a customized template. Or I can customize this new template. So here I can see that everything is enabled. Okay, I have this option here to tell if people can use this process template or not. Okay, and we have four tabs. We have work item types, fields, and security. Here you can see a list of the fields used uh, in the process template, as well as we could do it on the Visual Studio. Work item types. Here you can see that we do not see the lock icon anymore. We can see that this field is inherited. Okay, so it came from the parent process template. Okay, and here I can do some things, right? I can edit this field. Okay, so imagine that I want to translate it to Portuguese. I can edit here and change reason to razão. Okay, and it's grouped in status. Okay, so now we have it here. Okay. Um, well, let's do something else right here. Okay, let's customize this work item type that is bug. Okay, to have a new field. First, let's create a new group. Let's create a customized group. Okay, and I can now select which space I want this group to be put on. Uh, Please pay attention to this detail. I cannot put customized fields into the first column of the work item template. Okay, so I will put this group into the middle, into the middle column, right? So I have this customized group here, and I can now create new fields. What's interesting here, I can create a brand new field, or I can use some out of the box Visual Studio Team Services fields, which I can find right here. These are usually fields used in other work items, and I can use it in here. Okay, so let's use a brand new field. And as I said at the beginning, we can choose between four types of fields. Okay, so let's put this field text field. I can put a description to the field. Okay, and here we have the field, but I put it into the status. Okay, if you see here, I did not change the group. I can change it here, or I can drag it and drop it here. Okay, you can see that default fields I cannot change between groups, but these new customized fields I can do it. And let's create another field just to finish the customization. Customized date, for example. And let's use date time. This is my first date time customized field. Okay, so now let's add this field. I forgot again to choose the group. And I have a brand new customization for the bug work item. Okay, and finally I can I can customize the permissions for this process template. So who can administer permissions, who can create some process, who can delete process and edit process. What does it mean? I can customize the security for process customization on Visual Studio Team Services. Okay. Well, let's go to the overview and let's create a team project to use this process template, right? So here is to change. I do not want to change this. Let's close this and use the default view to create a new team project. Okay, so here's my process templates. You can see a tree view. What does it mean? If I choose a customized process template, I can see which process template is its parent, right? So I can be very localized here. Which version control? Let's use Git. Well, the project is created, so let's navigate to it. So let's create my first bug, and you can see the group and the field right here. So I have my customized group and my two customized fields. Let's see how it works. So I have a text field here, right here, and I have a datetime field. Take a look how great it is. So I can choose the date here and it's all done. Okay.
Sprint 92 improved a better experience on work item discussion. On this sprint, VSTS team delivered the ability to see discussions on the main off page of New York item form. The new discussion experience creates an icon on top of work item form that counts a number of revisions of discussions. On bottom of new work item form, it's possible to see new discussion. Yeah, and you can maximize this discussion. But the main feature on your discussion is the possibility to mention people and the other work items. How this example? Example, I can mention please Ricardo Serradas uh, join this work item to other work item number hash 234. When you save this work item, Ricardo Serradas will be receiving an email and the number of discussions will be shown 1. Work item improvements. On this feature, VSTS team provides a better experience on history of our kitten types. See this new experience. First, pagination and revision count. When you have more than revisions on history tab, you have a new pagination. Example, and the New York item form show the 10 newest revisions and the other revisions is pagination. Example, this work item have 13 revision but the first 10 is show. It's click on 3 more revisions and the work item is show all revisions. Second improvement, separation between state graph from history. On history tab, now you have history section and state graph section, and you show state graph, expand and collapse, and history expand and collapse. Auto expansion of revision, most recent revision. When you close work item and you open again, automatically on history tab, the newest revision is automatically shown. Absolute timestamps. Now, when you have our revisions, you have the absolute timestamp and calculated timestamp. On the other features, you have only calculated timestamp. Now you have two fields of timestamp. On Sprint 92, VSTS team delivered the network items ability with the experience to recycle bin. To see this feature, I created two new work items. On this moment, I will move them to recycle bin on bottom left. I will click on two work items and move to recycle bin. When I move these work items, I can search these work items. Example, I deleted the work item 273 and I can search it. When I click on recycle bin query, I visualize these work items. On this view, you can restore work items or delete permanently these work items. Delete permanently is the same command of wt-admin destroy double I. If you restore a work item, the same return to the backlog. This is our work item. Return to recycle bin. If you delete work item, the same doesn't exist anymore. Return to the main page and access admin page and security tab. You have a new command that allow user or group send work item to recycle bin. This command is delete work item in this project.
Well, now we have a new dashboard edit mode into our dashboards on Visual Studio Team Services. It came just to improve the edit experience into our dashboard. So let's take a look and see how it works. Okay. Here's our dashboard for the brand new team project we created to show the customized process templates. Okay, so until this sprint delivery, at the bottom right here, oops, we only had one button, and it was the plus button which allowed me to add new widgets to my dashboard, right? And when I hovered into one of these items, I could configure these widgets separately, okay? So it came here and this was the behavior, okay? So as you can see, we now have a different button on the bottom right here. And if you hover into it, you can see the old plus button, but we have now an edit mode. So what are the improvements? We can edit all the customizable widgets in batch, and we can also see the grid view, which are the available spaces into my dashboard, right? So if I drag it here, I see this grid, which helps me to drop into the best place for this widget, okay? And as I am into the edit mode, I can add new widgets, right? And drag it wherever I want and customize it. Okay, so it makes the dashboard easier to customize and edit, so it's a very it's much more user friendly.
Continuous on keyboard shortcuts. VSTS team enable new keyboards on test rub. See this example. I access test rub and I have a test plan. Now you can manipulate tests using shortcuts. How this example? I can access a chart tab example and I click on number 2. I can access a test tab and I click number 1. Also is possible mark tests result using new shortcuts. Example, when I test failed, I click TF. When I test pass, I click TP. When I test when I want to mark a test with blocked, I click TB.
Well, this one is cool. As we could see in the previous versions of VSO Sprints, um, we got a new extension for Chrome, which allowed me to perform exploratory tests using only the browser. And I could connect to my Visual Studio Team services and put these results and the test case into my Visual Studio Team services, right? It worked as well as the Microsoft Visual Studio Test Manager worked, but as an extension to Google Chrome. And now, after this sprint, you can connect this extension to your on-premises Team Foundation server. So it allows you to use this extension both using Visual Studio Team Services and Visual Studio TFS on premises. So on premises user have the ability to use this extension. Let's take a look. Let's see what changed. So if I use this button on the top right here, look at that. I have the option to connect to a server. So I can put my URL of my on-premises Visual Studio Team Foundation server, and then I can connect to it. Okay. Well, this last one is good. Now we can search for code into Visual Studio Team Services in a scoped vision. What does it mean? Until this sprint, If we search for code using the extension code search, could only search for code into the root of your source control. So we could have lots of results which were not important for us. Okay, so let's take a look how it works now. So I have here my source code structure. Okay, so imagine that I have some files here and I want to search for code. So let's search for the home word. Okay, we may have lots of results, right? So we have here and the web and scripts, web scripts again, scripts, content, web CS project, views. Imagine that I want to get the results only from the views page right here. So I just want I just need to click here and I'll get the results only for this folder, right? I can also type the path here. Imagine that I receive a path for someone else and I want to search for code under this path. I can paste it here, but I can navigate and click into folders on this left pane. So into these folder controllers, I do not have any file containing the word home. So let's take a look at scripts. And I have these files which contains the home word. Okay, so it's a scoped code search. Well, then that's all for this sprint, which we called 92v2 because of the sequence of the releases. What do you think about this latest deployment?
Yes, this is the end of this sprint. One more time, thank you, Cerradas. And thank you guys for watching our channel on YouTube and in MSGen. See you next sprint. Bye bye.
See you guys. Thank you so much. Keep following us using the hashtag VSO Sprints. One thing I would like to highlight is that we are now publishing these VSO Sprints sliced by feature. So keep up with us and then study whatever you want to be up to date with us. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.